Rob Thompson and Rudy J. Mornings 6 to 10. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the big news of the day, Alabama's got a new head football coach. As Kalen DeBoer, the former Washington Huskies head coach, is heading to Tuscaloosa. Big weekend of college football, which you can catch, or NFL football, which you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star. It all starts tomorrow as the Texans open up a doubleheader against the Browns at 3:30. Sunday, the Cowboys will be playing a game you can catch starting at 2:30.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. I am James Pledger. 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN if you want to be a part of the program, or you can just watch and comment along on our YouTube live channel, as Fred Records did, saying, yo, Pledge, it's Cowboys and Texans time. Look, I would revel in an all-Texas Super Bowl. That would be a dope thing to be able to see. But baby steps. Super Wildcard Weekend comes first, and you got to get to that. So we'll see where that comes. We're going to be talking a lot about the NFL postseason, the Cowboys, the Texans, and the NFL as a whole. Plus, Kalen DeBoer, as you heard in the Sports Center update, the new head coach out at the University of Alabama, after seemingly 4 to 5 people said no to Alabama. What does that mean for Alabama and its program? And what does it mean that a guy with no ties to the South is coming in to lead it? We'll discuss that coming up. And the Spurs got a chance at a win streak. Yep. November 2nd was the last time we said that, when they beat Phoenix in Phoenix on the second end of a back-to-back. November 2nd. It's been a long time since the Spurs could claim that they've won back-to-back games. There have been a lot of losses in there, some of them a lot in a row. But are they starting to turn the corner in terms of coming out of everything they were trying to figure out early in the season? We'll discuss that coming up. This morning on R&R in the Morning, our good friend Rudy J had his last broadcast, as he is moving on to greener pastures, doing his own thing, and I wish him the best. It has been such a privilege and honor to work with someone that is so incredibly talented behind the mic, and I was happy to get to produce their show for about a year, and happy to be able to do shows with him over the end of the year. Took me by surprise, a lot of emotions. And as you heard, and if you didn't, you can go listen on the audio vault at powered by AA Best Bail Bonds at SASportsStar.com, or you can just rewind R&R's YouTube live from earlier this morning. It got emotional, and I'm not gonna lie, it hit me too. And it's been something I've been dealing with, and we're still going to be friends. We're still going to play golf. We're still going to drink. But work relationships are special, at least to me, especially with as much time that I spend at work, right? You think about it, Rob and Rudy spend 6 to 7 hours a day talking to each other, 4 of them on the air and the other couple in prep and another post. That's a lot of time. That's more time than you spend with your family. Jason, me, and Joe, Rob, Rudy, Edwin, me, all of us, we're we're in the same area and we're constantly talking to each other. So it's not being able to see, converse, do things every day. It's going to take some getting used to, especially when you develop close bonds the way everyone at this station has. But I wish him the best. He is fantastic, and it's not often that in this business you get to go out and say goodbye. And he got a chance to do that this morning, and I just want Rudy to know I appreciate everything, everything he's done for me throughout the 2 to 3 years that he's been here, and we've made that change to going into a morning show. So props to the GOAT, Rudy Johnson. Starting Tuesday, R&R will now be Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa, my other guy, the former cohort and co-founder of the Saturday Morning Hangover with me and him as well. Great dude. Fantastic listen. He is just when he gets behind a mic, it feels like you learn something that you didn't know every time he opens his mouth. So RJ's fantastic, and I cannot wait to listen to that show come the morning. Good thing is I kind of know what it sounds like. I've heard him fill in for Jason when with Rob when they were doing the Blitz together, so that's going to be a whole thing in and of itself. But this is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 941 FM, sasportstar.com. Listen, I'm going to be out at the Twin Peaks at Park North for the Cowboys watch party this week. That's right. Sunday, 1 to 3, pregame with me as we get you ready for the Cowboys and the Packers. And, we'll finish up the early game with the Steelers and Bills. Everything will be on the screens. You got the Twin Peaks girls there with those scenic views. And, of course, the food made from scratch from the kitchen and those great craft cocktails and 29-degree icy cold beer. So come on out to Twin Peaks at Park North on Sunday from 1 to 3 and pregame with me. And register for a chance to win some Zach Sabbath tickets for the show coming up on Wednesday at the Aztec. College football is changing a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing with Alabama plays out because they got told no by a lot of people, basically. Dan Lanning told them no. Steve Sarkisian told him no early this morning. Mike Norvell told him no at Florida State. And I get the Mike Norvell one, especially because at first I was like, that doesn't make sense. You just got left out because you're in a lesser conference. Take the chance to be at a program and in a conference that's never going to get left off the table at any point in time. But then I started thinking about it. You're in the lesser conference. The conference championship's likely going to be guaranteed a spot with the playoff expanding to 12. You have the easiest path into the college football playoff every year. Why would you leave Florida State at that point? So I understand the Mike Norvell thing from there. But finally, they found a yes with Kalen DeBoer of the Washington Huskies as he is leaving Washington and going to be the next head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. One thing I am concerned with when it comes to Kalen DeBoer is no ties to the South, really. So recruiting, I know Alabama's a brand that can recruit itself, but there are ebbs and flows to programs. Ask Texas. And before Nick Saban got to Alabama, remember what Alabama was. I think DeBoer is a hell of a coach. He took a Washington program that was a middling Pac-12 team for the most part, goes 11-2 and then 12-0. His offenses are unparalleled in terms of being near the top of the nation But then you also start to wonder when you look at it, how much of that was DeBoer, how much of that was Michael Penix, who transferred in, helped to get them to that 11-2 and then 12-0 record, and then set all these records as he went from Heisman conversation to Heisman finalist to it's going to be interesting because the South is a different breed in terms of their football, right? The South is completely different. Your phone calls are coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. So just hang on the line 210-656-ESPN 656-3776. The changing landscape with NIL, portal, all of those things is going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen with Washington's program now as they make the move to the Big Ten, but also Alabama's, because how many guys are there for Nick Saban? How many guys are going to stay with Kalen DeBoer, especially on that defensive side of the ball? It's hard to continue to pick up and run after a legend. And one of the only times in recent memory that I can remember a turnover like that, going from a legend at a school to continued relevance, was Jimbo Fisher from Bobby Bowden, right? That was kind of it. You lose legendary coaches and your program gets put back a couple of years a lot of the times. Does NIL change that? Does the portal change that? Possibly. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly where Alabama is, because everybody, I always love to remind everybody, after Alabama loses one game, see, this is it. This is it. Alabama's undoing. And I was like, nope, they still got Nick Saban. They're going to be fine. And then lo and behold, there they are in the college football playoff again. They're, 11-2 season last year. Oh, no, this is the end. They're losing Bryce Young. They're losing Will Anderson Jr. Well, lo and behold, after the loss to Texas, see, this is it. The beginning of the end. Nick Saban's done. Well, Nick Saban was done, but Alabama wasn't. So it's hard to drive that final nail into that coffin, and I am very hesitant to do that. But I'm going to be watching with a little bit more of an eye on, is the era over at Alabama now that DeBoer is taking over the program and seemingly no ties to Nick Saban in terms of come through like Sarkisian did or Kirby Smart did or Dan Lanning did, and there's none of to see how this DeBoer thing plays out up in Alabama, especially now that they're getting some new competition rolling into town this coming season with Texas and Oklahoma. The college football playoffs expanding. The NFL playoffs have already expanded as we got Super Wild Card Weekend coming up, and the Dallas Cowboys, well, there is a split, and I don't know what the consensus is among the fans if we were to poll them, but Green Bay, is there cause for concern when dealing with them, and how much of this will fall on the shoulders of Dak Prescott or Micah Parsons? We'll discuss next right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin up just off on the party, let's this muscle roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always tucked. It's our party vibe. It's great things so our chicks feel fly. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Skincare is self-care, and with daily beauty steals of 50% off during Ulta Beauty's Love Your Skin event, I can find everything I need to make loving my skin a daily practice, from brands like Osea, Lancome, and Tula. And I can shop weekly skin and wellness deals of 30% off more must-have brands. Plus, see what's new from brands like Bubble and in select stores, Sol de Janeiro and Ulla Henriksen. Hurry, event ends January 20th. Shop in store, online, or try pickup today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at Plan text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for listening tonight and every night. I appreciate you all. whether you're listening 941, sasportstar.com, or on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, follow along. You can also comment along with the show and find out, like Paul has, and Dak saved all his interceptions for this game coming up this week. I mean, let's face it. Last year was the aberration. He didn't throw that many picks. And even 15 wasn't a whole heck of a lot. So he gets a bad rap for that. But we will see what happens and if he can continue his high-level play as we go. But we're talking about Alabama. What's it mean for the future of the program as they go with Kalen DeBoer, the former Washington Huskies head coach? And 656 ESPN, 210-656-3776. I said, you want to get on the conversation? Well, Manny wanted to get in on the conversation. What's up, Manny? Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure.
How you doing, man?
I'm always good, brother.
Glad to hear. Let's talk about Alabama. First of all, man, nobody wants to follow the legend. I mean, that's the greatest coach of all time. And you want to follow the guy that follows him, you're cool. But now the guy they got from Washington, he is hands down a magnificent football coach. Will not take anything away. He has done more with less his entire career. I mean, hands down. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama is in the Final Four next year because of the talent that's there that he's going to get to coach. He's never had talent like this. My concern is that when people went to Alabama, they went there for Nick Saban because he was going to get you to the NFL. I mean, bottom line, he has 141 players in the NFL. I don't think this guy is going to be able to recruit that type of kid because he does not have a track record of producing NFL players. All right. And I think what's going to happen is, number one, Alabama will not fall off the cliff. This guy is such a good football coach that they'll probably compete. They'll be maybe somewhere. They'll make the playoffs, but they're not going to be dominant like they were under Nick Saban. Not after the Saban talent is out the door. What thing is going to happen in the SEC now, that it's going to come down to Georgia and Texas competing for those 5 stars and competing for the number 1 and number 2 class going forward. And I think Texas just took a step forward in replacing Alabama as the either number 1 or number 2 program year in, year out in the SEC with Nick Saban leaving. The Sarkisian's a hell of a coach. I mean, think about it. When the kid comes down and flies down to Tuscaloosa, there's nothing there except Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And when he flies down to Texas and Sark shows them what Austin's all about, it's going to be a real easy sell for the kids. And then they're winning and they're stacking talent and they're going to the pros. I really think that's what's going to happen, that Texas is going to replace Nick Saban as far as the second or number 1 class going forward. And it's going to be a heck to see because, moving Texas into that SEC, it's going to happen is Texas and Georgia can fight those top recruits after the number 1, number 2 class. And I think that's not a clip by any means, but I don't think those kids that used to go there are going to go there anymore. I mean, he's just not that type of coach. He's not going to send kids to the NFL at the rate that Nick Saban was. And I mean, honestly, that's why people went to Alabama.
I hear you, Manny. Like, able to replace the talent that Nick Saban exported from that, because while there was 5-star talent, it's one thing to get 5-star talent. It's one thing to mold 5-star talent into first-round picks and potential NFL stars. So he managed to be able to do that and take them from where they were to where they said they wanted to go. And that's by no easy measure. Look at whether it's Texas A&M or Texas in their heyday. Like, getting players in, high recruits in, is one thing. Grooming that to become the stars that they want to be at the next level is another thing. And Nick Saban, partly because of, I think, of his time in the NFL, understood what was needed to get from point A to point B. While most people are more concerned with winning overall in terms of, like, we need to run the spread offense because we can't, run the football or whatever it may be. And this is my system that I run, but my system is not pro style conducive.
I think another point also is that how many of those Nick Saban assistants are going to stick around that help Nick Saban produce that, mold that talent into NFL talent.
Oh, it's going to be a completely different staff, I imagine.
You know, so it was like, you know, so I think there's a lot of factors, but I think the reason people went to Alabama was to get to the NFL, and Nick Saban provided that platform for him, and it's no longer going to be there. I mean, we lost. College football lost a lot with Nick Saban, but I heard an interview he gave where he's going to be. He says he's going to be an advocate for the sport, and I think maybe that's the voice they need in order to get all this stuff under control with the NIL and transfer portal. He might be the guy they need to put in charge and let him bring some sense to it all. Who knows? We'll see. I really hope he stays involved in the sport, and if he doesn't contribute on the field, maybe he'll be able to contribute in other ways to make it better for everyone.
I appreciate the phone call, Manny. That is fantastic, and I agree. Nick Saban should have some sort of massive position as the head of college football because, let's face it, the NCAA is dying in terms of what teeth they can bear down on these conferences. Appreciate the phone call, Manny. Look, college football is changing, and a lot like Bill Belichick in New England, Greg Popovich in San Antonio, it's hard to sustain success over the period of time that they've managed to do that. And I understand what the expectation is at Alabama, but the reality of the situation is what Nick Saban did, especially in the era that he's in now, is insane. So, and think about it. People were calling for Nick Saban's job after 2 losses in a season. They're not going to have a very long runway or it's a new guy. Let's let him get his system in and stuff like that. That's not going to be the case. 210-656-3776, 656 ESPN if you want to be a part of the conversation. Gary, what's going on, my man? How are you doing? Welcome to Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Hey, Pledge. This is Gary.
Yeah, what's up, Gary?
I just want to say, you know, I think this is a unique situation because you had a guy whose team has been a fantastic team for the last 2 years at least, and he's taken over for a legend. But any young person coming into Alabama had to realize that Saban was not going to be there forever. I mean, the guy is very good, but he's not God. He's not going to be there. He's not infinitely divine. He's going to be there forever and ever. You have to understand that man was leaving. I don't think all of his assistants are leaving. And this guy here is coming from an established program. I think he might be just what that quarterback from Alabama needs to go to the next level.
But Gary, what coach do you know, especially a big coach like a Kalen DeBoer, a national championship game coach, goes into a job where he doesn't get to pick his assistants or his coaching staff?
I think that's kind of, yeah, he's going to, you know, Parcells used to always say, hey, look, if you want me to cook the meal, let me, you know, do the shopping and everything. So there's going to be some changes, but that's just normal. I mean,
coaching staffs are built on relationships that these coaches have with one another. And is Kalen DeBoer, like, it made sense with Lanning, it made sense with Sarkisian, like guys that have been under Nick Saban in the past, but Kalen DeBoer has no ties to Nick Saban, therefore his assistants. He has his own coaches that he looks out for.
If it was me, I would decide, am I going to change everything these guys have been taught for the time that Saban's going to be there, or am I going to make a slow adjustment? Because just because I had my staff in place don't mean I was 100% happy with everybody I had. Now, if Alabama has some guys like, man, I always wanted to work with that dude, some of the guys from my old staff may not be coming. The only reason why they didn't get replaced is because I didn't have a quality person to replace them with.
Mm-hmm.
But there, that safety person is sitting right there in Alabama. Because, I mean, at Washington, they ran the ball, but they didn't run the ball as good as Alabama has run the ball historically.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama is head chest.
They also didn't have Derrick Henry or Najee Harris or Brian Robinson or
Right. Because they were coming there because they know that mentality, that offensive mentality was already in place. So that's why they were flocking there. And of course, they came there because of Saban. They're Saban, some of his disciples may be there. And to be honest with you, some of Saban's disciples sucked. I'm sorry. Some of them were not that good. So, it wasn't Bill O'Brien there.
He was?
Yeah, and he was not any good, boy.
He was not.
Anybody from the Houston Texans, if they hear the name Bill O'Brien, they should go running.
Listen, Alabama was celebrating when he was plucked away by New England.
Yeah, he was straight up booty. He wasn't no good. He wasn't no good, man. He was no good whatsoever. I just want to drop that little bit of knowledge. I think it's a great selection. I think he's going to do well.
I love Kalen DeBoer. I think he's a great coach. I don't know if he's going to be a great coach at Alabama.
Not necessarily the first year, but hey, the playoffs is 12 teams.
12 teams, baby.
Get in there, 12 teams. Huh?
12 teams, baby. Just get me in the dance.
Yeah, he's going to get you in the dance. With 12 teams, he's going to get you in there. Hey, man, I can't go on the air. I'm getting ready to go to Whataburger, but I just
I appreciate it, Gary. As always, you are welcome to call back anytime, my friend.
All right, take it easy.
That is Gary calling in. Look, there's a lot that is going to be made up of this Alabama situation, and only time will tell us how it's all going to unfold when it's all said and done. But I think what happens with Kalen DeBoer's staff at Alabama will be a little bit of kind of a flashlight on the situation, if you will, on what's to come next for the University of Alabama and those Crimson Tide. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Coming up next, the Cowboys, the Packers. Woo-hoo! Round 1, 2 versus 7. What's coming up for the Cowboys? And is this the easiest path they've ever faced in the last 30 years? We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Cowboys and Packers. The playoffs are here.
I like this kind of party. Let's go down here and fire the first shot.
Sunday afternoon at 2:30.
Prescott's going to throw it in the left side of the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Hear it here.
How about them Cowboys?
Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tint, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination. It's the...
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-384-1340. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, Anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-384-1340. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-384-1340.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
My neighbor across the street, his mother died. I paid cash for the car, and he gave me a title with his mother's name on it, and they won't let it get registered.
Yeah, y'all should have just forged it. Now you need to get him to apply for a new title and forge the dead mother's name. And she's damn sure not going to sue because she's dead.
This is not endorsed by GiveMeTheVin.com.
Not at all.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey everyone, gather round. It's time for corny jokes about passing the torch.
The team at Kirian's Welding was fused together solid.
Thanks for all the late nights and early shifts.
But double retirements mean the crew must bond with some certified new hires.
You've both gone the extra millimeter.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Let our team keep your home running comfortable and worry-free. Call on Mr. Electric for all your electrical needs. 210-248-2026. Or get a hold of us online at MrElectric.com and enter your zip code.
License number TECL 34221.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's a pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show, or you can call in 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN. How are you feeling, Cowboy fans, about this weekend's game? We're going to be out in full force Sunday. We got the game right here for you on San Antonio Sports Star. That is right. The playoffs, the super wild card weekend. You got the Cowboys. They're taking on the Green Bay Packers at home at Jerry World. 3:25 kick, but you can catch it right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, starting at 2:30 with the pregame. Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star is, of course, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and in part by Mother's Window Tint, Woods Comfort Systems, Ewald Kubota, and the law offices of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla. Come pregame with me. I'll be out at the Twin Peaks of Park North. That's right. Let's get you registered, win some tickets, win some prizes, or heck, let's just hang out, talk, having some drinks. It's going to be a great time. Twin Peaks, Park North, scenic views, 1 to 3 this Sunday as I get you ready for the Cowboys and the Packers. Now, Mike McCarthy this morning on R&R in the Morning was discussing the difference between preparations for the playoffs and if things are different now that playoff time has started and they're getting ready for elimination games versus, what they do in the regular season, getting ready each week. And McCarthy was explaining the difference or lack thereof when it comes to playoff preparation this week.
Well, I mean, just the difference becomes in intensity. Just make sure the focus is tight. And you got to fight the human ambitions to try to do more. You just got to make sure you lock this thing down and make sure you're giving the players clean information, clean looks, so we can go out and play with free mind and great energy. So just really staying disciplined is the key.
Not a whole lot of difference in what they do, which is nice. Consistency is key a lot of the times, I think. You don't change your outlook or your what you're doing because it means what you were doing wasn't working in terms of the big overall picture. There's something to be said about play every game as if they are individual games, and this is an individual game. A lot of people think that the Cowboys are going to easily dispatch the Packers, and there's a good chance that they could. The Packers, outside of the Chiefs and Lions on Thanksgiving Day, they don't have a bunch of great wins on their resume that you can find. So it's going to be, in terms of competition, Dallas has definitely traversed a much tougher road through the regular season. And so there were the guys this morning asked Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys win if
play to our strengths. I think it's important for us to go out there and play to our standards of productivity, do the basics, obviously win the turnover differential, time of possession, and just play to our productivity. So that's who we are. Those are the key variables of complementary football. And I think this team's done a really good job of establishing, consistency and production within those variables, and we need to play to that Sunday.
Now, I will say, as it pertains to the Cowboys and their upcoming game, it seems like it should be a wash for the Cowboys. The Cowboys are at home. They play well at home. They're healthy. There's as healthy as you could possibly be going into a playoff game, minus the Trayvon Diggs injury, right? Everybody seems to be ready to go for this game. Even Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith, Stephon Gilmore. The question I have, luckily, that health also includes Jonathan Hankins, because he is going to be a key component, I think, to really stopping the Green Bay Packers, because I do believe that they're going to have to lean on the run, especially Aaron Jones. And McCarthy was asked about stopping one Aaron Jones this Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at their offense any different than ours. It always starts up front with the run game to make the quarterback. Every offense I've ever designed is about making the quarterback successful. The first starting point is with a healthy run game, because your linemen need it. Their ability to play, on the balls of their feet and keep them off their heels if you throw it all the time. So it's important to start up front, and Aaron's a dynamic back. I mean, he's obviously, when he's rolling, that's when they're at their best. And obviously, Aaron is a huge focal point for us.
And he should be, because that is going to be, I think, a very, very big proponent to any success that the Packers will have, is having Aaron Jones have a big game. Now, defensively, they move around up front for Green Bay. That defensive line is very active, and Dak Prescott was very, very cognizant of the fact that the Packers front is very mobile.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, just making sure we're all on the same page of where they're going, who they're blocking. Obviously, I think some pre-snap things can help, but after that, it's those guys handling, and I think it's a lot. I don't want to say it's all on them, but I think what Zach and Mike are mentioning is they great games in between those 5 guys up front or 4 guys and the blitzer. So for us is make sure that we're on the same page with the back, what he's got to do, his protection responsibility, take care of that, and then attack after that.
I think the offensive line is going to be just fine. You got Biotish healthy. You got Tyler Smith healthy. You got Tyron Smith healthy. You got Zach Martin healthy. And Terrence Steele. I mean, your line's as good as you could possibly ask for running into this first game. I feel confident about the Dallas Cowboys. As confident as you can feel about the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. Especially when you look at the other side of the ball with the offense. And yeah, they've got Aaron Jones. Yeah, they've got Jaden Reed. That's 2 weapons. Questionable is Christian Watson. Christian Watson could be a huge difference maker if he plays. But his hamstring injuries have been an issue. And he tore it what looked like pretty bad when he last left the game and has not been seen since in that Kansas City game. And you just wonder, do they have enough to overcome Dallas, especially when Dallas is going to get after him? Because Micah Parsons is going to be on another level this week. I think he feels it, and he is ready for it. And there's an added sense of, I don't want to say pressure, but motivation for this team, and knowing it could be their last ride together, because we've talked about Dan Quinn and the Seattle job and the possibility of other organizations requesting Dan Quinn, and the fact that the reports came out that Dan Quinn does want to be a head coach again and is looking for the right opportunity. And Micah Parsons seems very aware that this could be the last run with 1DQ.
It's the nature of the business. It could possibly be my last ride with Q. And if it is, we're going to make it sure it's a damn good one.
Having a motivation to play for is massive. And I think that is something that defense is going to play out this postseason. And it could give them the open opportunity. Now, as for the other side of the bracket, the Houston Texans, they're getting ready for a rematch with the Cleveland Browns. And the first time it didn't go so well. This time, though, could be different down at NRG Stadium in Houston. We'll discuss next right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown!
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast. With a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
If you've been enjoying a little too much food, too many sweets, and too much liquid cheer over the holidays, then you've probably put a lot of stress on your liver. A great way to show your liver some love and to detox your system is simply adding Active Liver to your daily routine. Active Liver is an easy and effective way to keep your liver healthy and functioning properly all year long. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, go to NORDICUSA.com, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
And just like that, it's 2024. The new year always comes so fast. The older I get, the simpler my resolutions are. Spending time with family, planning for retirement. But this year, I added Protect It All to the list. When my best friend suddenly lost her husband and seeing what her family went through, I realized how important life insurance is. We weren't covered, so I went to SelectQuote.com, and in minutes, we had quotes from multiple carriers. Then, an experienced licensed insurance agent helped us find the right coverage for our budget. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. The holidays were for family, but the new year, it's for protecting them.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-309-9393 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote. That's 1-800-309-9393. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings for Play 1 FM, sasportstar.com. How would you like the chance to win $2,024 for the new year, which is 2024? Well, it's really simple to do. Just sign up for our New Year, New Cash in 2024. Go to sasportstar.com, get signed up. That's it. It's that easy. sasportstar.com if you want a chance at winning $2,024 in the new year, new cash for 2024. Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and of course on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube. You can like, subscribe, follow along. You can comment along with the show, or you can just give me a call, 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. Look, the Houston Texans, it did not go well the first time for them against the Cleveland Browns. But this is a team, and it was earlier this week, Pat McAfee was talking to him, CJ Stroud, at the national championship game on Monday. And he was talking with them and saying, they're not supposed to be in that situation, blah, blah, blah. And CJ was like, we don't know that. Like, we're here to win. And McAfee reiterated back, like, I guess that's a positive thing, is you don't know what you don't know. In terms of, yeah, there's some vets on this team, but there's a lot of young guys on this team too, including a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach, and a bunch of rookies, second and third year players that have all been part of terrible teams that have been in Houston previously. Now, this is where you bring in the vets that come from winning cultures, like you did with the Sheldon Rankins, like you did with the Dalton Schultz, like you did with Tart, like you did with Barnett. And you hope that that culture you're instilling starts to wear off on them the way D'Amico has been preaching. And you can tell that it has. And this team doesn't, A, know it's not supposed to be here, and B, doesn't care that they're not supposed to be there. They are playing with house money, and the people that think, and I've seen it, oh, it's going to be a rough one for CJ. This is first playoff game. His emotions may get to him. Funny you don't hear that about Jordan Love, but I digress on that. CJ's played in big games. That was basically a playoff game, the one that won the division last week against the Indianapolis Colts. It was the college football playoffs. By no fault did Ohio State lose to Georgia that year because of CJ Stroud. He balled out in the biggest game on the biggest stage of his college career. And so I look forward, and it's just another thing. CJ seems to be able to handle those big moments. And he wasn't there for that first game against the Browns, but he got a good look at the tape of it and has an idea of what Jim Schwartz wants to do defensively, and is a defense that is missing some pieces like Grant Delpit and Tillman. And it's also potentially could miss Denzel Ward, which could make things easier for Nico Collins on the outside. It's going to be very interesting to see, and it all starts tomorrow at 3:30 from NRG Stadium, a game you can catch over on our brother station, 1250 ESPN San Antonio. We got both games of the doubleheader starting tomorrow. Everybody, have a great weekend. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
It's the Cowboys and Packers.
1, 2, 3, Cowboys! Yeah!
The playoffs are here.
I like this kind of party. Let's go down. You fire the first shot.
Sunday afternoon at 2:30.
Prescott's going to throw it the left side of the